Hello and welcome to Adoptions from the Heart TV. I'm your host, Amanda Aliberti. Today we are honored to have birth mother Brittany Brooks here to talk about her story. She placed her son for adoption 5 years ago, and she does today have an open adoption. We are so excited to be able to hear her story and hopefully be able to reach out to other people who might be in a similar situation as hers. So take it away, Ashley and Brittany.
So Brittany, as a birth mom, I'd love to hear you share a little bit about your experience with support through your adoption process and afterwards. I found that a lot of the moms that I've worked with have struggled to identify support, and sometimes they haven't realized how important support would be, especially after placement. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yes, that is very true. It's very hard to find support because with adoption, a lot of times we can't be open about it. It took me about a year to tell family and to tell friends, and I felt really cut off, and I felt just like there was no one that understood. The only one that actually had to help me was my social worker, which was like, she changed my life, honestly. And now at this point, I feel a lot better because now I can talk about it more while I'm working here.
Sure.
So I've actually have healed a lot, and that's why I feel like I can actually come out and actually talk about it. But for other girls that don't have it, because I know there are a lot of girls that is like, no one knows. And you need to find someone, especially if it's like, that's your only child. It's like, that was your first time being pregnant. There's things that you would love to ask people, like, like, what is that kick? Or is like, what's this that's going on just with me? And you need to find someone to be able to tell you what's going on with you and to help with certain feelings and emotions, because we're going to go through them a lot. And then afterward, you'll go through different phases. I'm 5 years after placing, and I still struggle. And then you go through different cycles. You'll have times where you feel great and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel really, really good. And then you have times where you're like, I missed that moment. So and everything pretty much hurts. And then even if you don't have someone that you can call up, hopefully you can just call your social worker, because like, I really relied on mine. So and that's something that I do like here, because the social workers, like, you can reach them pretty much at any time. So it's always someone there to just be there just for you.
What about other ways that you can get support, like online or Facebook or anything like that?
A birth parent group, which is we started now. It's been up and running for about a few months, since about like May, and I've been talking to a lot of really wonderful girls and a lot of great guys, and we all talk to support, because we all realize that we do need it, and each one of us is in a different stage. So even if you're in the very beginning, or if you're years and years down, I can actually pair you up with like other people. Be like, you need to talk to this person because she's 10 years post placement. Or like when we got a brand new mom, and she's like, I'm afraid, I don't know what to do, and I don't know how to handle it, and but we can be there to support her, which is like really, really great. And even if you don't want to, because this is on social media, so even if you don't want anything out public, like, you can just message us and we can still talk with you, and and try to find you like other ways to like be able to cope and be able to manage.
That's awesome. I think it would be really valuable for a lot of the women that I've worked with to know that they could have somebody else who's been through the same experience to be a support person for them. How did you decide to talk to your family about it?
It was really hard. I started with my grandmother, and I couldn't even tell her on the phone. I couldn't use words. I actually wrote her a letter.
Oh, wow.
She was so confused, because I had just talked to her like 2 days before she actually got the letter.
Okay.
And then she called, and when she was crying, I pretty much knew that she knew. And that was like the hardest part. But I was like, for the life of me, I could not actually put the words together to tell her. I was like, the only way I'm going to be able to do it is just to write this letter. And I cried throughout the whole letter. So there's different ways for us to be able to tell them, and you just have to figure out what's best for you. And it's okay to feel what you feel. And I think that's something that I would tell anyone. It's okay.
Yeah.
This is a different grieving. This is a different type of grief. Like, other than death, you can openly grieve. But with adoption, you can't tell anyone. So you're grieving alone, and a lot of times you'll try to like hide it and bury it deep, and then later on it just comes out and you're just a mess. And it's like, feel it now, and let it go, for like a few minutes, and then later on just move on. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ashley, and thank you so much, Brittany. You were able to offer such great advice to other women and men who might be in similar situations to yours. One of the biggest takeaways that we can have from her is the idea of feeling the emotions, letting yourself go through it, take it in, and keep moving forward. Thanks again for tuning in, and we can't wait to see you again next time.